Now, this part of the story is truly sad. A small child has died, and people in the Black community are gathered together at the church for a funeral service. What we hear for the most part is the minister speaking. They walk together without talking, following the procession that passed by the whites-only cemetery, where the lawns are kept so nice and green, and there's flowers all over, and the grave markers are upright and majestic-like. And then they arrived at the Negro cemetery, which is always overgrown with weeds and dry grass. Even some of the tombstones is overturned. Why, you'd think that at least in death, there'd be some fairness and respect, but not to be. Everyone gathered then by the graveside just as a summer storm started to brew. Suddenly, as if to match the sadness of the day, there was a roll of thunder and the crackle of lightning, and the crowd began murmuring. Some of the white folks began to look afeared, like maybe there'd be some reprisals, but the thoughts of the coloreds was not on vengeance. The preacher began, and as he spoke, the wetness in the air turned to a fine drizzle and then to a steady rain. And the minister spoke again. Amen, the mourners said in accord. Yet for the rest of us, brothers and sisters, this child's death is a symbol of yet another robbery on the Negro community, an attack on its sanctity, a contempt for its family, a refusal to recognize its humanity. His voice was getting more fervent-like as the congregation together sang out, Amen. Then you could hear a small groan that grew and gathered momentum. And do you hear that sound, brothers and sisters? Why, these are the cries of sorrow and bitterness, of longing and emptiness, a sound that has gathered strength over the centuries. It had its beginnings on the shore of the African continent when the first Black babies was torn from the arms of their horrified mothers and fathers, stolen by their white tormentors. Bless us, Lord. But now it is a sound that is also heard at a graveside where the death of one more Negro victim is shared by all. Listen, my peoples. Listen as these pitiful strains of grief rise up to the heavens where they are joined in rage by the rumblings of the thunder, where they at last become indistinguishable from the angry incantations that are hurled back to earth by a furious and grief-stricken God. Listen, my peoples, listen.